e5 is a common response that establishes a presence in the center, controls d4, and opens up the queen and dark-squared bishop. Knight f3 develops the knight toward the center, attacks the e5 pawn, and prepares to castle. Knight c6 develops the knight toward the center, protects the pawn on e5, and eyes the d4 square. In the Scotch game, d4 gains space in the center and attacks the e5 square twice. E takes d4 opens up the center and is somewhat forced given that white was attacking the pawn twice, and protecting with d6 doesn't work out. Knight takes d4 recaptures the pawn and centralizes the knight. Bishop b4 check develops the bishop and puts the king in check. This forces the checking bishop to move away due to a pawn kick. This moves the bishop to safety. Playing the same piece again slows down the progress in the opening. This prepares the bishop for development. This forces the opponent to lose castling rights. This is the only good move. This steps away from the checking knight. This move puts the knight on a safer square. This threatens to play checkmate. This is the only move that works. This blocks an attack on a pawn. This threatens to eventually win a pawn. Out comes the bishop and into the battle. Right on target. This overlooks an opportunity to kick a bishop. This allows the opponent to win a tempo by threatening a knight. This threatens to win material because the defender is pinned. This stops the opponent from being able to win material because the defender is pinned. This misses an opportunity to eventually win a pawn. This prevents the opponent from being able to eventually win a pawn. This is not the right idea. This overlooks an opportunity to develop a knight off its starting square. This permits the opponent to win a tempo by threatening a knight. This move puts the bishop on a safer square. The game was close to balanced, but now black has a winning position. This is the only move that works. This activates a knight by developing it off of its starting square. Now white can't stop black from winning material if they make the right moves. This is the strongest option. Taking that pawn wins material after the follow-up trades are made. Undoubling pawns is good here because it strengthens the pawn structure. Capturing that queen wins material. White combines recapturing with the development of a new piece. This isolates a pawn, which is a weakness. This is the way to win a pawn. This overlooks a better way to move a queen to safety. That was a free pawn. There was only one good move there. This overlooks an opportunity to evade the check from the opposing queen. This is the only good move. This captures a bishop and eliminates a threat. This promotes a pawn to a queen. This is the only move that works. This evades the check from the queen. This allows the opponent to win a rook by revealing a check and attacking a piece at the same time. This misses an opportunity to tactically win a rook. This wins a rook through a discovered check. This is the only good move. This steps away from the checking queen. This captures a free rook. Very precise. Right on target. Takes back. Recaptures. This stops the opponent from being able to eventually win a pawn. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This leaves a pawn without defenders. This overlooks an opportunity to capture a free pawn. This loses a pawn. That was a free pawn. This move puts the rook on a safer square. This blocks the check from an opposing rook. This is the strongest option. This misses an opportunity to win a tempo by threatening a rook. Very precise. This is the only move that works. This takes an outpost, a square where the knight cannot be kicked out by a pawn. This threatens to force eventual checkmate. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This is the only good move. This blocks the check from an opposing queen. Now black can't stop white from winning material if they make the right moves. Only one move worked there, and this wasn't it. This permits the opponent to win a tempo by threatening a rook. This wins a pawn. This threatens to tactically win a queen. This is the way to win a pawn. This misses an opportunity to recapture a piece. This overlooks an opportunity to win material through a tactic. This is the only good move. This evades the check from the rook. A solid choice. This steps away from the checking rook. Right on target. This evades the check from the rook. This is the strongest option. This is the only move that works. Recaptures from a previous move. That's fine. This overlooks a better way to defend a pawn that was under attack. Pushing a passed pawn. The rook moves out of a pin while also providing critical defense to a piece. Very precise. This evades the check from the queen. Pushing a passed pawn. The game was close to balanced, but now white is worse. This is the only good move. This moves the queen to safety. This evades the check from the queen. The game is still close to equal, but black lost their advantage. Right on target. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This steps away from the checking queen. This is the strongest option. This misses a better way to defend a pawn that was under attack. This overlooks a better way to defend a pawn that was under attack. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Recaptures. Now black can't stop white from winning material if they make the right moves. Very precise. This overlooks an opportunity to tactically win a knight. There is a different move here that is winning. This missed an opportunity to punish a mistake. This is the only move that works. This defends the attacked knight. That pawn was free for the taking. Pushing a passed pawn. This is a fair move. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. Pushing a passed pawn. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. One of the best moves. Right on target. A very strong play. Putting the piece on a blockade square. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. That's fine. A solid choice. This blocks white's pawn. One of the best moves. This is the strongest option. This steps away from the checking knight. This defends the attacked pawn. Pushing a passed pawn. This takes an outpost, a square where the knight cannot be kicked out by a pawn. The Indian game begins by controlling the important e4 square with the knight, rather than a pawn. c4 builds a strong center by controlling the important d5 square and creates a square for the knight to come to c3 without blocking the c-pawn. e6 opens up a line for the dark-squared bishop and prepares to castle quickly, while preparing to push a pawn to d5 and recapture with a pawn if captured. Knight c3 develops the knight to fight for the e4 square and to control d5. In the Nimzo-Indian defense, bishop b4 pins the knight on c3, preventing it from moving or protecting e4, and threatens to trade, disrupting white's pawns after b takes c3. e3 supports the d4 pawn and allows the light-squared bishop and queen to develop. c5 attacks the d4 pawn, defends the bishop on b4, and prepares to develop the knight to c6 behind the c-pawn. Knight e2 develops the knight to where it can recapture on c3 and avoid doubled pawns, but at the cost of blocking in the light-squared bishop. d5 gains space in the center, attacks the c4 pawn, and prepares to develop the light-squared bishop. This kicks a bishop. This move puts the bishop on a safer square. That was a free pawn. Very precise. Good job bringing your bishop out early to build a solid position. Castling kingside tends to be safer than queenside because the king is further from the center. This is the strongest option. Right on target. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Very precise. This threatens to win material by trapping a piece. This prevents the opponent from being able to win material by trapping a piece. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. Black develops the bishop and attacks the center. The piece finds a new active square. This creates space for the king to move in case it is attacked. This creates luft for the king, providing it an escape square. The knight is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This offers an equal trade of pieces. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This is an equal trade. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This wins time by threatening a queen and forcing it to move away. This protects an underdefended bishop that is under attack. This misses a better way to connect rooks. This permits the opponent to win a tempo by threatening a bishop. This threatens to capture a bishop and win material after the follow-on trades. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Recaptures. This challenges the other rook for control of the open file. This moves the rook to safety. This misses an opportunity to create a pawn chain. This took advantage of a mistake, and white now has a winning advantage. This moves the bishop to a more active square, making it gain scope. This blocks the attack on a pawn that could have been captured. This is the only good move. This blocks the attack on a queen that could have been captured. This allows the opponent to eventually win material. Now black can't stop white from winning material if they make the right moves. This places a rook on the 7th rank, where it can be highly active. That pawn was free for the taking. This blocks an attack on a queen. This blocks the attack on a pawn that could have been captured. This defends the attacked rook. A great find, leaving the rook vulnerable to attack. This protects an underdefended rook that is under attack. This is the strongest option. A very strong play. This attacks a knight, winning a tempo when it moves away. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Takes back. This leads to losing a pawn. This is the way to win a pawn. Right on target. Recaptures. Very precise. This defends the attacked pawn. This evades the check from the queen. That was a free pawn. One of the best moves. White will be winning a pawn with that fork. A solid choice. A very strong play. This steps away from the checking queen. One of the best moves. A solid choice. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value.